Hey guys, Landon here, and have you heard about surgical techs? Wondering who are they and what are their roles and what are the job prospects of a surgical tech? Well, you are at the right place because today I will be telling you everything you need to know about surgical techs. So what is a surgical tech? A surgical tech is a crucial member of a surgical team that assists surgeons, nurses, and other medical professionals in the operating room before, after, and during the surgical procedures. But hey, there is a lot more to it. I mean, a lot more. And in this video, we are talking about work environment of a surgical tech, typical duties that a surgical tech has to perform, their salary and job prospects, typical requirements to start your career, and finally, pros and cons of being a surgical tech. By the way, if you are new here, this is Certified Success, and on this channel, we share tips that help busy adults start their dream careers faster. So, hey, let's get started. Work environment of a surgical tech. Surgical techs are an integral part of any healthcare setting, and they typically work in hospitals, outpatient care centers, offices of physicians, administrative and support services, and other offices of dentists. And it might not come as a surprise, but 71% of surgical techs find employment at hospitals. Offices of physicians and outpatient care centers are second on the list and employ 12% of surgical techs each. Now, as a surgical tech, you'll most likely find employment in a hospital. Now, working in a hospital comes with its own perks like paid time off, 401k or pension plans, but at the same time, it can get hectic. As a surgical tech, you can be involved in critical surgeries and you have to be prepared for emergency. We'll talk more about life as a surgical tech later in the video. Moving on, let's talk about the nice part. How much money you can make. As per the BLS, the median wage of a surgical tech in the US is $56,350. Now, this is just the median wage, and when you are just starting out your career, your wage, it might be lower. Entry-level surgical techs can expect a starting salary of anywhere between $35,000 and $43,000. Now, this can also depend on where you live. Now, as you gain more experience and with continuing education, you can expect a higher wage. In some states, experienced surgical techs can bring home close to $100,000 in a single year. Yes, that is right. If you work hard and you are great at your job, you can command a six-figure salary. And plus, since you're already working in a hospital, you can make additional money working overtime or being on call. Now, look, I get it. Some of you are screaming right now, I work as a surgical tech and I make nowhere close to six figures. Well, as I said, your geographical location can influence your salary. And from what we have seen on different job board websites, the salary can vary a lot from the West Coast to the East Coast. In states like California, the median wage can be as high as $72,860 or $35 per hour. While in North Carolina, the median wage stands at $49,500 annually or $23.80 per hour. Now, talking about job prospects, surgical techs are in high demand. I mean, high demand. And according to the BLS, close to 130,000 jobs were available for surgical techs in the US. And that number is set to grow each year. Ultimately, as a surgical tech, you can command a great salary and the demand is clearly there. I mean, you in the right place. By the way, if you were already sold on this career and you're sitting there like, hey, Landon, it is a great career. What do I have to do to get a job as a surgical tech? Well, guess what, folks? We got you. Now, to know more about how to start your career, I would like to invite you to sign up for our free Surgical Tech Accelerator. Now, in this accelerator, Grant Aldridge, who is a well-known higher education expert, gives you a step-by-step blueprint on how to get job ready as a surgical tech in 6 months or less. Yes, that's it. I mean, it is amazing. In this accelerator, you'll discover how to get the right training as a surgical tech without student loan debt or spending years in school. 3 critical elements that could set you apart as an entry-level surgical tech. How to build a strong resume, the top things employers look for in a surgical tech, how to gain real-life clinical experience even before you get your first job, and so much more. With this video, you'll get a clear step-by-step roadmap on how to start your career as a surgical tech in the next 6 months. Now, to sign up for the free accelerator, click on the link down below the like button. Look, guys, if you want to start your career faster and without spending thousands of dollars on your education, then I highly recommend checking out our Surgical Tech Accelerator. But let's get back to it. Now, let's talk about the duties of a surgical tech. As a surgical technologist, you play a crucial role in setting up the operating room. Your duties are essential for ensuring smooth and safe surgeries. So your first duty is to prepare the OR. You need to prepare the operating room by ensuring that it's sterile and properly equipped. You need to set up surgical instruments, equipment, and supplies. Now, this has to be done before surgery begins. Second, assisting the surgeon. During the surgery, you'll pass the instruments and supplies to the surgeon and the surgical team. You must anticipate the needs of the surgeon and maintain a sterile field to minimize the risk of infection, because nobody wants to be infected. Third, instrument sterilization. After surgery, you are responsible for cleaning, sterilizing, and preparing instruments and equipment for future procedures. Fourth, safety and infection control. You must follow strict protocols to maintain a sterile environment and adhere to safety and infection control measures to protect patients and the surgical team. And finally, fifth, emergency situations. In the event of an emergency during surgery, such as sudden bleeding, you should assist in responding quickly and effectively to stabilize the situation. Now, these are your top duties, but you can be asked to occasionally fill other roles. All right. The next question is how to become a surgical tech. To start your career as a surgical tech, the first thing you need is formal training. You need to enroll in the right training program. And typically, to get training, students enroll in an on-campus, in-person program at community colleges or universities. However, the high cost of tuition and long course duration can prove to be deal breakers for full-time programs. I mean, you can consider online surgical tech programs, which are relatively cheaper and faster. Now, after your training, getting certified as a surgical tech and gaining some hands-on experience is recommended. And I mean, highly recommended. Now, you'll get all the information about becoming a surgical tech in our accelerator, and Grant covers training and certification in detail. Click the link below in the comments to sign up for the accelerator. Finally, let's talk about life as a surgical tech. Like any career, you have some pros and you have some cons. Now, here are the top pros and cons of being a surgical tech. How about we explore the advantages first? Number one, high demand. As we stressed earlier, surgical techs are in high demand. Now, when you take a deeper look, it makes more sense. With medical advancements, more and more surgeries are conducted each and every day. And with an aging baby boomer population across the country, you see a clear rise in the number of patients requiring and opting for surgeries. And with more people requiring surgeries, the demand for surgical technologists will keep growing. Number two, job satisfaction. Now, if you're someone who finds fulfillment in making a direct impact on patients' lives, this career can be deeply rewarding. I mean, you are playing a crucial role in assisting during surgeries. As a surgical tech, you'll play a critical role in healthcare, and you are essentially helping save lives every single day. Number three, quick entry into the workforce. Now, unlike many healthcare careers that require several years of education and training, you can enter the field of surgical technology fairly quickly. I mean, you don't even need a degree. Number four, great pay. We discussed this earlier too. As a surgical tech, you can earn a handsome salary. And as you gain experience, you can even touch six figures. Plus, when you take into account the additional perks you get for working in a hospital, like retirement benefits and overtime, a career as a surgical tech can be financially rewarding. Number five, variety of specialty. As a surgical tech, you have the opportunity to work in a wide range of surgical specialties, from orthopedics to cardiovascular surgery to neurosurgery and obstetrics. This allows you to work in your desired area of interest and expertise. Now, the other side. Let's talk about some cons that are typically associated with surgical tech. Number one, it can get physically demanding. Look, you may need to work during nights, weekends, and even holidays, with the shifts lasting longer than 8 hours. You may also be required to exert yourself physically and stand for long hours. Now, this can get challenging at times, so it is essential to maintain good physical health if you are working as a surgical tech. Number two, stressful work environment. Look, the surgical environment is fast-paced and filled with uncertainties. During emergency surgeries or when unexpected complications arise, that can be emotionally taxing for some individuals and completely understandable, which can also impact their emotional well-being. Now, to avoid that, you need to talk to your friends or seniors and try to de-stress yourself. Have a routine. If it gets too stressful or mentally taxing, you should know when to go take a break. Now, having said that, all of this is subjective and can vary from person to person. Ultimately, I feel it is a great career, and the best thing is you don't need a degree to become a surgical tech. Now, to learn more about that, sign up for our free accelerator. So there you have it, guys. I hope I could throw some light onto the world of surgical tech. And if you found this video useful, make sure to hit that like button. And for more videos on the career, you can subscribe to the channel. And until next time, this was Landon signing off. Take care.